awaited event of the year, Budget 2025, is on Feb 1st. On that day, our Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will present the budget in the Parliament. From capex to spending, investors are waiting very anxiously for some kind of good news. Hello and welcome. My name is Shruti Sarkar, and you're watching Good Returns. And फ्यूचर फोकस बजट 2025 के इस एपिसोड में हम जुड़े हैं राजीव गुप्ता, प्रेसिडेंट पॉलिसी बाजार फिनटेक से. हेलो राजीव.
हेलो
राजीव, बहुत सारे स्पेकुलेशंस, बहुत सारे एक्सपेक्टेशंस हैं, but my first question to you is, what is the overall understanding, what is the overall expectations from the budget?
Shruti, I think first of all, most industries, industry players from various fields have clearly put forth their demands to raise income tax limits because that's been long due and it was raised from 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs. I think having more money in the hands of people is a very generic expectations across industry players. I think that's something which we are all expecting, not only BFSI but across industries because they want more money in the hands of people. So I think that's one area which certainly we are expecting to happen soon. Particularly keeping in mind our sector, one of the key change budget 2025 may bring is the introduction of 100% FDI, in insurance sector, along with from the current 74%, and that's the reason we believe it was supposed to be announced earlier in the winter session, but hoping that this gets announced in the budget session at least.
Right.
The focus on infrastructure spending is going to continue because that's one area which is going to help us achieve our dream of Viksit Bharat. So I believe that infrastructure funding will continue to remain a big focus area. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the percentage allocation increases there, and that's an area we want to see focus going. Last year in the budget, the finance minister announced about skill development, and internships. I think that's a focus area which will again continue because one of the big challenges the industry is facing today, given the size of our economy, 150 crore people, is availability of skilled manpower.
Absolutely.
Particularly from tier 2, tier 3 cities, this has been a big challenge, you know. So adopting, some skill development programs, co-curriculum programs along with the corporate world, will certainly help produce better talent from tier 2, tier 3 cities, particularly if most of us want to make inroads, in the deeper pockets of the country. I think that's an area which I think the focus should continue.
Hmm.
In my view, the cyber, security is one of the biggest concerns, which across industries we are all facing today, and I believe that a lot of focus on this side should also happen. So some announcement on cyber security is likely to take place because I believe that this is really hitting all of us very hard, and these cybersecurity software professionals are probably far ahead of us, and I think somewhere some focus is likely to be seen in this space where government is willing to invest more money to protect consumers and corporates from such cybersecurity issues. The other area, I think, as far as banking is concerned, I think home loans, the limit, was not increased. The tax deduction limit for, I think, more than now what, a decade. It was earlier increased from 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs. And I am hoping that some work will be done in that space because buying a home, owning a home, home for all has been the vision for the for the government. So
Right.
hoping that to support the middle income group, which has always had big expectations for the budget and probably they've not got any direct benefit over these years. So I think this budget should try and focus on the middle income group more, which is why I said the income tax slab rates are likely to go undergo a change. Home loan interest undergoing a change. And if I look at my sector, I think hopefully, if we want insurance for all, then the GST, long pending GST reduction or waiver
Hmm.
should also happen.
Right,
particularly for the income.
absolutely. Rajiv, couldn't agree more on the GST part, on infra or cybersecurity that you spoke about. You also mentioned Viksit Bharat, Rajiv. Let's just talk about that. When do you think India will become $5 trillion economy? And do you think that we can well achieve, will be developed country by 2047, as PM Narendra Modi says that his aspiration is that India will become Viksit Bharat by 2047. What's your take on that?
I certainly uh, believe that this is a dream come true. And in my view, whatever the PM is saying is very much possible to be achieved. It is just that each sector will have to break down the goal. We have 20 years from now, leaving aside 2 years, as a cushion
Hmm.
for all of us to plan, with the government on what we need to do in our respective sectors to make India a Viksit Bharat. You know, so I personally believe the 5 trillion economy is not very far away. I am expecting 27 or maybe latest by 28, but 2027 we should certainly see a 5 trillion economy, happening in the country.
Right,
Now coming back to the original question, if I look at my sector, forget my sector. I think today India prides in itself in terms of the younger population we have, right? But 10% of our population even today is senior citizens. And 2045, this number will scale to 30 to 35%, which means we are talking about 70 crore senior citizens in this country. And as per today's statistics, 65% of these people don't have any income, no insurance plan, no income. Now imagine in a country where there is no social security scheme and where there are pensions are eroding, joint family system is going away. Look at the social impact this problem is going to create. So
right,
the real missing middle are today's 40-year-olds. So somewhere I think the government and the sector will have to focus in reaching out to this set of people across tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities if we want to avoid this big social impact which is going to be happening soon. I mean, if there is no focus on this sector.
right, right. Rightly said that. Moving on, let's talk about a little bit about markets, about sectors probably. What are the top sectors to look at, probably right before the budget, that you would, in your view?
I think MSME will continue to get focus. Clearly, manufacturing sector is one area where India has to do much better.
Hmm.
Service sector has been in focus. So I think MSME will continue to get a lot of support in this budget. BFSI has been waiting, with a long laundry list. So hoping that fintech, comes under some kind of regulation, some support to ensure that fintechs continue to do well because there is still that trust deficit when it comes to fintech. So I think some regulations around fintech to strengthen because if we have to build financial literacy in this country, if we want to go beyond Jandan bank accounts and have everybody to understand how to borrow, why buying an insurance is important. It is important that this area is focused. You know, if we don't, then I think it is not going to be possible. So till we literate people, it's not possible for us to achieve this dream.
Right, right.
You know,
Rajiv, before I let you go, I have one final question to ask you about the insurance sector. Now,
sure.
10, 20 years, before, uh, people like us never thought about insurance. But now,
Yeah.
like you said, that, we don't really have a social security scheme like in the US. What are the benefits, or what are the things that you expect that the government should focus on about this sector? Because this sector is now highly watched not only by corporates, but it's important for the senior citizens, it's important for students, it's important for a homemaker. So please let us know about your views on this.
Yeah. So I think for the insurance sector, there has been a long pending demand. As I mentioned to you earlier, insurance penetration in this country is still continues to be a single digit number. Surprisingly, after 20 years, the penetration levels have come down. You know, so something serious will have to be done collectively by the government, by the sector. I mean, 100% FDI will certainly attract more players to come into this country. For a size of our country, I think less than 200 or 300 insurers is not justified. Even a country like Dubai has 100 insurance companies, and we have 53. Now, imagine if I have to cover all pockets of this country. You need all kinds of players who are willing to make capital investment in this country, focus more on deep-rooted states, tier two, tier three cities. So clearly, I think inviting or easing, 100% FDI will make a lot of sense, for the sector to invite more people. The other part is today insurance premiums, the deduction continues to fall under the overall Section 80C limit, which is continues to be 1,50,000 rupees. Now imagine that 1,50,000 takes care of PPF, home loan, everything. Now this is not going to help the sector.
Right.
The sector needs a dedicated deduction when it comes to health insurance. So we are recommending strongly, that the current amount for senior citizens may be doubled, because that's an area which needs focus, because senior citizens will continue to face spiraling health costs in this country, you know and if health cost is going to increase, then certainly you need more budget incentives for people to kind of plan for that expenditure. So if somebody has to buy a health insurance, this is a key attraction, right?
Right.
Similarly, the overall limit, under section 80C, or create a separate limit for
Hmm.
those people who buy a term loan insurance plan, because you need to protect your family in case something happens to you. So I believe that that is also crucial. Overall, either increase the Section 80C limit or create a separate limit, for this sector. Similarly, pensions, are treated differently when it comes from the insurance industry. The pension proceeds are taxable, whereas the pension is not taxable when it goes through the PFRDA. You know, so I think it's important that a level playing field here is created.
Hmm.
As I mentioned to you, one of the key challenges is to have an income when you're not earning. And pension certainly is one of the areas which can help you support achieve that dream. So I believe that that's an area which certainly we expecting some change to happen. So section 80D limit, we are hoping from 50,000 it is improved to 1 lakh. You know, that's so I think that's something which is certainly needed at this point of time, particularly to achieve
Hmm.
the mission of insurance for all. You know, uh, I think mostly we have covered. I also think that to create more institutes which produce insurance talent. So, for example, we have an NIA, we have an Insurance Institute of India. You
Yes.
know, now these are very, very few in number given the size of this country.
Hmm.
And when it comes to first choice of employment, you know, insurance is not something which people straight away consider to move, because they think, "Arey, traditionally insurance selling is perceived as low profile job." But whereas this sector, you look at the AUM and look at the contribution to the economy, I think this sector certainly warrants more skilled professionals coming out. So, in fact, I was there in the NIA meeting the other day, and I requested that NIA should have more centers across all regions.
Right.
National Insurance Academy, which is currently based in Pune, should have all the regions covered. So, somewhere, the focus on building talent for the sector, you know, while the skill development and internship program is very good idea, but somewhere government initiated, insurance institutes will certainly help.
Perfect. I think skill development is something that every sector is looking at, awareness about things we can do. Great insight to the questions, Rajiv. Thank you so much for joining us today, viewers. That was Rajiv Gupta, President, PB FinTech. Thank you, viewers, for watching us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.